in last class I told you about two types of projectile motion. One is horizontal projectile motion and the other one is oblique projectile motion. So in this chapter we will focus on oblique projectile motion. Okay, so here we can see that in oblique projectile motion the projectile will be thrown from certain point making some angle with the horizontal, and suppose the angle in this case is theta. As it goes up it reaches a maximum height somewhere here and then it comes down. Okay, so here we have to assume, or actually this is the fact, that the motion is taking place in two different direction. That means this object when it is traveling it is covering some height also and it is covering some horizontal distance also. So that means its motion, it is a combination of x-axis, it is a combination of motion in x-axis and motion along y-axis. Okay, so now this question we will do, that show that path followed by a projectile is parabolic. So here from the figure it is clear that the path is a parabolic one, but we have to show it. Now as we know that for certain geometrical shape we have certain equations. Say for example we have like y is equals to mx plus c. So this is the equation of a straight line. Okay, then we have the equation for circle, we have the, in the same way we have the equation for parabola also. So what we will do is we will after solving this one, that means after solving the motion of this particular object which is thrown making an angle theta, what we are supposed to get, we are supposed to get an equation which represents a parabola. Okay, so let us discuss that this question. So as I already told you that for this kind of motion the motion will take place along x-axis as well as along y-axis. So we are writing two sets of equation, one for x-axis, one for y-axis. Now the very important thing that you have to remember is that here, since the velocity of the object, that is u, it is making an angle theta with the horizontal. Since velocity is a vector quantity, we can resolve this velocity into two component. One will be along the base means that will be u cos theta, and along the perpendicular that will be u sin theta. Now here it is clear that for u cos theta component the object is traveling some horizontal distance, and for u sin theta component the object is traveling some vertical height. Okay, so now when we are writing the equation for motion along x-axis, so remember that along x-axis gravity is not working. Gravity always works in which axis? In y-axis, right? So that is why along x-axis, since no gravity, that means no acceleration. When we have acceleration, in that case we have some equations of motion like v equals to u plus at, s equals to ut plus half at square, v square equals to u square plus 2a. So this kind of equation we use when we have acceleration. But along x-axis, since no acceleration, we have only one equation, that is s is equals to vt, distance is equals to velocity into time. And in this case, since we are writing the equation for x-axis, the distance itself will be x. Suppose along x-axis how much distance the object is moving, suppose it is x. So using this equation, in place of s we will substitute x. In place of v, velocity, which component of velocity is responsible for x motion, for motion along x-axis? That is the u cos theta component. So in place of this v we will substitute u cos theta, and then in place of t we will keep it as t only. So from this equation we can write t is equals to x by u cos theta. This is given equation number 1. Okay, now we will write the equation for y-axis. Now as we know, along y-axis acceleration is there, and moreover the object initially it is thrown in upward direction, so this acceleration we will take as minus g. Okay, so for that, which formula we are using here? We are using here this formula, s is equals to ut then plus half a t square. This formula we are using for y-axis, because in y-axis we cannot use s equals to vt because acceleration is here. Okay, now u means it is the which component of velocity? U sin theta, because we are talking about y-axis, along y-axis. So in place of u we will write u sin theta. So that's what I have written. In place of u I have written u sin theta. T means this value I have substituted from equation 1. So I have written here 1 implies this value of t, x by u cos theta, it is substituted here. Okay, then minus, this is minus, since the motion initially it is in upward direction, so minus half g, then in place of t again I have substituted this value, so it will be this much of x by u cos theta whole square. Okay, then after simplifying this we get this kind of equation, x equals to, okay, this one we will get here, no, this one, u will get cancelled, then sin theta by cos theta becomes what? It is tan theta. So here what we will have? X tan theta. Okay, so that's what I have written here, x tan theta minus half g x square by u square cos square theta. So in this equation, if we express it in terms of two variables means here actually this x is the variable and this x square is the variable. Rest terms are, for a particular motion it is constant. Okay, so if the rest term is constant, I am writing this tan theta as a constant, which is suppose a. So the equation is in the form ax, tan theta means suppose a, so ax minus except x square, other terms I am taking it as constant, which is suppose b. So this will be how much? Minus b then x square. So this kind of equation means y equals to ax minus bx square. This represents a parabola. So since this equation is in the form y equals to ax minus bx square, this represents, or the path followed by the projectile should be parabolic. Okay, very important proof. Then next topic is, in projectile motion or in oblique projectile motion, we have to know certain terms like maximum height, time of flight and horizontal range. These three things we have to know. Okay, so first we will start with time of flight, that is number 1. So here you can see, as this object is moving up, okay, at certain point, okay, suppose if the object is in at this point, here I have given two components of velocity, right? One is this side, the other one is this side. So this is x cos u cos theta component, this is u sin theta component. Now as this object reaches the maximum height, which one is the maximum height? This point is the maximum height. Here you can see that the object has no tendency to move upward, but the object has a tendency to move downward. Now just after this point the object has a tendency to move downward, and at this point it does not have any y component of velocity. If it has one y component of velocity, then either it will move up or it will move down, but here at this particular point it is having no upward or downward motion. But yes, once it crosses this, it starts to move in downward direction. So we can say that at this particular point the y component of velocity means u sin theta becomes 0, but yes, u cos theta is not 0. So remember that at the maximum height the y component of velocity becomes 0, as it has no tendency to move upward, and once it crosses this point it has a tendency to go in downward direction. Okay, now as we are discussing about time of flight, remember that time of flight means it is the total time for which the projectile remains in air. Suppose we are throwing the projectile from this point, the projectile throughout its path, the projectile is in air, right? So then it comes down and then it touches the ground. So for this period of time, or for the time for which up to which the object remains in air, this is called the time of flight. Okay, the definition I have written here. The time for which the projectile remains in air is called time of flight. Now this time of flight, we can divide this time of flight into two parts. One part is from this origin to maximum height, next part is from maximum height to the ground again. This time is called, this much time is called time of ascent, this time is called time of descent. That means time of ascent means it is the time taken by the projectile to achieve the maximum height, and time of descent means it is the time taken by the object to fall back to ground from maximum height. Okay, and uh, time of ascent is always equal to time of descent. So that means suppose if the time taken by the projectile to reach the maximum height is 2 seconds, then time taken by the projectile to come down from the maximum height is also 2 seconds. So in that case, how much is the time of flight? 2 plus 2, that is 4 seconds. Or in other words, we can say that the time of, if we calculate the time of ascent somehow, and if we then multiply it with 2, that will give us the time of flight. That's what we have done here. Okay, so you can see, let, I have written here, let small t is the time taken by the projectile to reach the maximum height, which is the time of ascent. Okay, and as we know that time of ascent is equals to time of descent, which is will be equal to t, of course. So that is why time of flight, that is given by always capital T, okay, not by small t. So capital T is the time of flight, which is nothing but twice of the time of ascent. So first we will find out small t, then we will multiply it with 2 to get the time of flight. Now how to calculate that small t? So for that small t, we are considering this part of the motion, this part only. That means from origin till the to the maximum height. Okay. So we have the formula v equals to u plus at. So that formula we are using here, and this formula we are using for upward motion, not for horizontal motion but for vertical motion. Okay, so when we are using this formula for vertical motion, as I told you that in vertical motion, when it reaches the maximum height, u sin theta becomes 0. So what is the maximum or what at the maximum point, what is the velocity or what is the vertical velocity? Vertical velocity is 0. So that is why v we will write 0. But what is the initial vertical velocity? Initial vertical velocity is u sin theta. So in place of u, we are substituting u sin theta. Since the motion is in upward direction, there will be minus. Okay, this is negative sign. This one is minus. Okay, so minus gt. Alright. So from this gt, since it is negative, we can take it this side, it will become plus. So gt is equal to u sin theta, or t is equal to u sin theta by g. So this t is the time of ascent, because we have considered only which part of the projectile? This part of the projectile. Now to get the time of flight, what we shall do? We will just multiply this small t with 2 to get the expression for time of flight, which is 2u sin theta by g. Okay, u is the initial velocity, theta is the angle of projection or the angle with which the projectile is thrown, and g is the acceleration due to gravity. Then the next one, that is maximum height. So from the figure it is clear only that maximum height means how much? This height. This height I have denoted it by capital H, and in most of the cases you will get the same notation for height only, for maximum height, that is capital H. Now to get capital H again, we are considering this part of the motion. Okay, and since capital H is nothing but it is a kind of distance, though it is height but it is a kind of distance only, right? So for distance, which formula we can use? Here we are using s equals to ut plus half at square. So s means the y displacement, so y displacement is h only, so we are writing s means it is h. Okay, ut, s equals to what? Ut. So u means which component of velocity? U sin theta, because we are considering upward motion. So u sin theta into what? Time. I am keep this small t the time is small t, which is the time of ascent, not the time of flight, because already I told you that we have considered only this part of the motion. Time of flight we will consider when we take the whole part. Okay, so half means it is time of ascent only. Then in place of t means time of ascent, just now we have calculated the value, it is u sin theta by g, so I have substituted u sin theta by g. Then negative sign minus upward motion, half g t square means this whole value square, so it becomes u square sin square theta by g square. Okay, then next this one sin theta u and u will become u square sin theta is sin square theta, then minus this term. Okay, this g, 1g and g will get cancelled, so only 1g will remain here, this one. Okay, then you can see that from this term and this term all the things are constant only except this half, I mean same only, so we can take common. Okay, so once we take common, what we are supposed to get now, u square sin square theta by g we can take common, and once we do so, in this place from here when we take this thing constant, here we will get 1. From the second term when we take this thing common, constant means common, okay, we are taking common, so here we get 1, and here how much we'll get, minus half. So the thing becomes like this, when we take common u square sin square theta by g, we get 1 minus half. 1 minus half means half only. Okay, so that is why half means this 2 I have written down, same only, it is half. So that means we got the expression for maximum height, which is u square sin square theta by 2g. Okay, so the second one also we got. Then the third one, horizontal range. So in this projectile motion you have seen that the projectile, when it is thrown, it goes this way and then it falls somewhere here. So horizontal range means it is the x displacement traveled by the projectile. How much is the x displacement? This much, from this point to this point. Okay, so this is nothing but r, means horizontal range. So this time, in this case only, we are discussing horizontal motion. So wherever we use the term velocity, which component of velocity we are supposed to use here? This component. What was this component? U cos theta. Okay, and moreover for horizontal motion, as we know that acceleration does not work here, so only one formula we have, s is equals to vt. S means horizontal range, or horizontal range is given by r, so in place of s I have written r here. Okay, then v, so in place of v, u cos theta. T means, see here we have taken the whole path, right? So if we have taken whole path, time will be equal to time of flight, so I have written capital T here. Then in place of capital T we are substituting the value of time of flight that we have already obtained from the previous equations, this one. So after substituting this, there will be a little bit of simplification, like u into u will become u square, then we get here 2 sin theta cos theta. Now there is a formula, 2 sin theta cos theta means sin 2 theta. I think in class 10 already you got these things. So finally the formula that we got for range or horizontal range is that r is equals to u square sin 2 theta by g. Okay, then see, if this range has to be the maximum, then what can be or what should be the value of theta? So that is a condition I have written here, condition of maximum horizontal range. Suppose in javelin throw, okay, in javelin throw, when this javelin, when it is thrown, then in that case what happened is, it goes like this, no? It goes like this, then it falls somewhere here. So we want that in javelin throw, the javelin, it should cover the maximum horizontal range. This range, this should be maximum, and under what condition this can be maximum? So there should be a certain value of angle of projection. For this angle of projection, the javelin, it will cover the maximum range or the maximum distance, horizontal distance. So now we have to find out at which angle. Okay, So to get that, we will use the help of, we will take the help from trigonometry, of course. See here, this one, in this equation, what is the, if r has to be the maximum, the value of sine 2 theta, sine 2 theta means sine of any angle, what is the maximum value of sine theta or sine any angle? The maximum value of sine theta or 2 theta or 3 theta, whatever it is, sine any angle, the maximum value is always 1, because sine theta range between, its range is from 0 to 1. Okay, all the values of sine theta, it lies between this range only. So 0 is the minimum value of sine theta and 1 is the maximum value. So that means this range r will be maximum if sine 2 theta achieves the maximum value, which is 1. So we'll write like this: r means horizontal range will be r max, means will be the maximum value if sine 2 theta is 1. So sine 2 theta, 1 means we can write sine 90. So if you compare this one and this one, 2 theta means 90 or theta means 45 degree. So that means if this angle, when something is thrown like this, when this angle becomes 45 degree, then this object will travel the maximum range or maximum horizontal distance. So during javelin throw, obviously the player must have to throw it at an angle of 45 degree. Alright. So next one, this one, that is a very important topic actually. Okay, what I have written here, that angles at which same range can be obtained. Alright, suppose there is a projectile and this projectile is thrown with an angle theta. So what will be the range then? We have the formula for range. Okay, just before that, one more thing. Here I have written this condition, no, theta equals to 45 degree. So as I told you that at 45 degree the range will be the maximum. So what will be the value of maximum range? Value means r becomes how much? So that means if you substitute in place of sine 2 theta, if you substitute 1, because this is the condition only, no, if we substitute 1, then the value of r max becomes how much? U square by g. So that's what I have written here, r max equals to u square by g. So this is the maximum value of horizontal range, and this maximum value is achieved when the angle of projection is 45 degree. Okay, then the next one. So here suppose there is a projectile and the projectile is thrown with an angle of theta. So how much will be the range? This is the range, the formula just now we got, u square sine 2 theta by g. Okay, fine. Then suppose we have another projectile and we are throwing this projectile making an angle 90 minus theta angle. Suppose I have just given this figure here. This is the first projectile which is thrown with how much angle? Theta angle. Next we have another projectile, this one, it is thrown with how much angle? 90 minus theta. Okay, then how much will be the range? So r dash, new range, same formula, u square. Okay, fine, u square sine 2 theta. So sine 2, but in place of theta, now this time we should substitute how much? 90 minus theta, because our angle of projection is 90 minus theta. Alright, so I have substituted here 90 minus theta. Good. Then next, u square will remain as it is. Sine 2 into 90 means 180, then 2 into theta means minus 2 theta. If it is so, there is a trigonometric relation. I don't know whether you got it in class 10 or not, but if you got it is okay, but if you did not get also, you remember that sine 180 minus theta, or any value, that becomes equal to sine theta. The thing is like this, sine, okay, just a second, sine 180 minus theta is equal to what? Sine theta. So that means sine 180 minus 2 theta will be what? Sine 2 theta. Okay, sine 180 minus theta is equals to sine theta. So sine 180 minus 2 theta, if I write here 2, then this will be sine 2 theta. So that's what I have written here. There is a formula actually, that sine 180 minus theta minus 2 theta becomes sine 2 theta. So now see, this expression and this expression are same only, though their angle of projections were different. One was theta, the other one was 90 minus theta, but the range obtained is same. That means range r is equals to r dash. So we can conclude here. See, in the diagram also I have given the same thing, right? That means if this is thrown with an angle theta, it is falling somewhere here. The other one, which is thrown with an angle 90 minus theta, that is also falling in the same place. So it is falling in the same place means what? Their range is same. R, this value is same for both. So r is equals to what? R dash for which angle? If the angle is theta and if the other angle is 90 minus theta. Now theoretically, if I say theta means, suppose if I say that a projectile is thrown with an angle 30 degree and a projectile is thrown with an angle of 60 degree, then will they cover the same horizontal range? The answer will be yes, because if we take 30 as theta, then 90 minus theta will be how much? 60. 90 minus 30 is how much? 60. So if a projectile is thrown with 30 degree and another projectile is thrown with 60 degree, they will cover same range. Or if I say a projectile is thrown with an angle of 20 degree and another projectile is thrown with an angle of 70 degree, then they will cover the same range because they are satisfying this condition. 20 means it is what? Theta. Then 90 minus theta will be how much? 70, right? So 20 degree and 70 degree, if you throw a projectile at these two angles, they will cover the same horizontal range. If you throw an object with 10 degree, the other one should be at 80 degree then. Okay, so in that way we have to relate this condition. Okay, so for today this much only. Then one last topic we have from this chapter, that is a uniform circular motion. That one we will discuss in next video. Thank you.